Emma had always believed love was something you fought for. At university, everyone admired her. Beautiful, confident, intelligent, and born into one of the richest families in the city. She had everything people dreamed of, except love. Her heart belonged to William. William was quiet, serious, and distant, the kind of man who made silence feel heavy. No matter how many times Emma tried to get close, he always stepped back. One warm afternoon in the university garden, Emma walked toward him holding his favorite coffee. She smiled softly. I remembered you like it without sugar. William barely looked at her as he took the cup. You shouldn't waste your time on me, Emma. She forced a small laugh. Maybe I like wasting my time. From across the garden, Sarah watched them with a secret smile. Sarah was Emma's best friend, the one who knew all her secrets, the one Emma trusted most. That evening, Sarah sat beside Emma in her bedroom, pretending concern. He loves you, Sarah whispered. He's just scared. Emma looked up. Scared of what? Sarah sighed dramatically. Your world and his are different. Your family is rich. He thinks he'll never be enough for you. Emma's heart softened. You really think so? Sarah smiled. I know so. And because Emma trusted her, she kept chasing William, day after day, gift, hope after hope. While all this happened, David watched quietly. David was Emma's childhood friend, handsome, calm, and from a family just as powerful as hers. Their parents often laughed at dinners. One day, these two will get married. Emma always laughed it off. David never did, because he loved her. Quietly, completely. And Sarah knew that. That was exactly why she pushed Emma toward William, because Sarah wanted David for herself. But one rainy afternoon, fate stopped pretending. Emma had returned to campus to collect a forgotten notebook when she heard voices from the empty hallway. William and Sarah. She stopped behind the door. Sarah laughed. I told you I'd win the bet. Look at her, still chasing you like a fool. Emma froze. William sounded irritated. This joke went too far, Sarah. I never wanted this. Oh, please, Sarah replied. As long as Emma was busy chasing you, David never looked at her. That was all I needed. Emma felt the world shatter under her feet. David. This had all been about David. Tears filled her eyes, but she refused to cry there. She walked away in silence. That night, she sat alone by the lake near campus, staring at the water. David found her there. She lied to me, Emma whispered. David sat beside her. I know. She turned sharply. You knew? He nodded. I knew Sarah was using you. I hoped one day you'd see the truth on your own, and maybe see me too. For the first time, Emma truly looked at him. Not as a friend, not as family, but as the person who had stayed. Always. She wiped her tears. Then help me. David looked at her carefully. With what? Emma's eyes hardened. Revenge. David smiled slowly. With pleasure. From that day, Emma changed. She stopped chasing William. She stopped answering Sarah's calls. She became colder, smarter, and David stayed beside her through it all. The first crack came during scholarship season. Sarah was competing for the university's biggest international scholarship. Everyone believed she would win. But one morning, she was called into the dean's office. We found plagiarism in your final project, the dean said. Sarah's face turned white. That's impossible. But the documents were perfect. Her application was destroyed. She came out crying, and across campus, Emma stood beside David, watching quietly. David smirked. She looks heartbroken. Emma folded her arms. She should get used to it. Still, revenge alone didn't fill the emptiness inside her. Something else was growing. Every late-night study session with David, every silent ride home, every coffee he remembered without asking, every time he stood beside her without demanding anything. One evening, as they worked in the library, Emma fell asleep on the table. When she woke, David had placed his jacket over her shoulders. She looked at him. You always do that. He smiled. Do what? Take care of me. His voice softened. Because no one else was doing it right. Her heart betrayed her then, and maybe she was glad. The second revenge came for William. He had secured a prestigious internship in the city's top company. Sarah celebrated like she had already married success. But a week later, the offer vanished. Due to internal recommendations, we have chosen another candidate. William stared at the letter in disbelief. This can't be happening. That same evening, Emma sat in David's car reading the rejection letter. She raised an eyebrow. Your father works fast. David shrugged. No one hurts you for free. She smiled, and for the first time, she reached for his hand first. The third revenge came during the university charity gala. Sarah arrived wearing confidence like perfume. She thought she could still fix everything. Then the projector behind her lit up. Text messages. Her lies. Her bet with William. Her cruel words about Emma. The entire hall fell silent. Then whispers spread like fire. Sarah's hands shook. No, this isn't. William stepped away from her. You lied to everyone? She looked around desperately, and there, near the entrance, stood Emma. Calm. Beautiful. Untouchable. Sarah ran outside in tears. Emma followed. Under the cold night lights, Sarah turned. Was this you? Emma smiled faintly. Do you think karma sends warnings first? Sarah cried harder. For the first time, Emma felt nothing. Only peace. And then came the moment that changed everything. David took Emma to the university rooftop at sunset. The city glowed below them. He looked nervous, which made her smile. Emma, he said, I loved you when we were children. I loved you when you ignored me. I loved you when you loved someone else. Her eyes filled. He stepped closer. I don't want revenge to be the reason we stand together. I want it to be love. Below them, students were gathering after class. Sarah and William were there too. David took her hand. In front of everyone, will you be my girl? The courtyard below went silent. Emma looked at him, at the man who stayed, the man who chose her every day, the man who loved her without games. She smiled through tears. Loud enough for everyone to hear, she said, yes. Cheers exploded below. David pulled her into his arms. Sarah stood frozen. William looked away. And Emma realized something beautiful. Revenge felt good, but love felt better. They graduated together. They married soon after. Years passed, and their love only grew. They built businesses, a beautiful home, and a peaceful life. Then came their greatest joy. Twins. A boy and a girl. David was the same as always, kind, loyal, and endlessly patient. One evening, they sat in the garden watching their children run through the flowers. Emma smiled softly. You know, I used to think love was supposed to hurt. David kissed her forehead. No, love is supposed to stay. Years later, their children turned 18 and became brilliant entrepreneurs, building their own empires and competing over who could make the family richer first. But they always stood together. Because that was the lesson Emma learned too late. Real love doesn't chase. It stays. As for William, he came back one day, older, tired, asking Emma for help. She looked at him calmly. Some lessons are expensive, William. He left the city and returned to the countryside, becoming a middle school teacher. Sarah's ending was sadder. Without support, without love, and without the future she planned, she lost everything. One day, she came to Emma's office. No pride, no beauty left in her confidence. Only tears. Please, she whispered. I know it was you. Please help me. Emma stood slowly. All of it. The scholarship, the gala, William's job. David stood beside her silently. Sarah looked between them and understood. Emma stepped closer. You made me chase humiliation. You watched me break and called it friendship. Sarah cried. I was your best friend. Emma's voice turned cold. No, a best friend protects. You destroyed. She leaned closer. So tell me, Sarah. A slow smile touched her lips. How does betrayal taste? Sarah had no answer, only tears. Emma turned away. Leave, and Sarah left. Forever. That night, Emma stood by the window, looking at the city lights. David wrapped his arms around her from behind. Do you regret anything? She smiled gently. Yes. He waited. I regret not seeing sooner who truly loved me. David kissed her temple. And now, Emma leaned into him. Now, after all the pain, all the betrayal, all the revenge, she finally smiled. Now, she whispered, I have everything.